Welcome back to Talking Planning. Today, we're going to jump into a quick review on Karragarra Island. But before we do that, I'd just like to let you know that I've got a bunch of footage that I've had sitting on a hard drive for far too long, and I'm finally going to be putting out some videos and sharing that with you. So, next week is bus week, and we're going to have 5 transport reviews back to back, Monday to Friday. This is Talking Planning. Alrighty, so today I'm now at Karragarra Island, which is where the Redland Coast Smart Shuttle was once operating. And I've just quickly come over to the island to check out and see what little bits of infrastructure and stuff remain. So come and join me for the journey. So this little piece of concrete behind me is where our shuttle used to turn around, and it used to do a U-turn here, and then it would continue back down that way, which was only another 50 meters down the road where we used to finish. So there was never any main signage here, but it also looks like behind me the no parking signage for where the shuttle used to have to turn around is gone. So that's the first clue. I'll just spin the camera around and show you. Yeah, so over there used to be a no parking sign because this is where the shuttle used to turn around. Unfortunately, that's now gone, so it's a very clear indicator that it's probably not going to come back, amongst many other bits of infrastructure that are very well likely to be missing. Okay, so I am at the Karragarra Island ferry stop, and this is right where our little shuttle used to depart. So I'll spin the camera around and give you a quick tour. So as you can see, ferry terminal. Basically, just about where this ute is parked is the edge of where we used to turn around. This little gap near the table and chairs there is where our shuttle was programmed to pull up. And I'll just pan around right here. That little shed is where it used to be parked, and as you can very clearly see, it's no longer there. As you can probably tell, I think the screening to protect the shuttle from the elements has seen better days as it's flapping around in the breeze and it's no longer taut. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk up a little part of the route. I'm not going to go and try and walk the full thing. Whilst that would be great exercise, I'm not quite in the mood to go walking 5Ks on this little island at the moment. But I will walk up to what would have been one of the first stops and just show you and see if there's any bits of signage or other shuttle infrastructure left. Because from what I've seen so far, I'm not convinced there's going to be a whole heap left. You'll see these tiny little reflectors on the trees, and they helped us navigate, but that's probably the most significant infrastructure that I can still see surviving. Even the normal signs pointing out where the shuttle is seem to be gone. But we'll walk up a bit further and find out for sure. And then you can see this little beach here, which is really a rather pleasant space to spend some time if you just want to relax. Quaint little boat shed. Nice. You'll see some more markers up on this pole ahead, but really, apart from that little red marker, there's nothing else that's really showing me this shuttle was once here. So they've definitely removed a lot of stuff since I was working on the island. And this is a ubiquitous section of the journey where going through here was often where you'd get a challenging time when you try and pass another vehicle or a vehicle tries to pass you. It was really tight, and sometimes the shuttle and motorists as well got a bit confused. Oh my goodness, and I think we found the Karragarra Island traffic jam. This only happens very, very occasionally, but it's really quite funny. So what happens is we've got the postie van, and we've got a motorhome, and we've got another ute, and postie van's trying to do deliveries, and yeah, it kind of blocks up the road. Alright, we've actually worked out the source of said traffic jam. Turns out that the postie was delivering a parcel to the lady in the motorhome and just decided, yeah, the island's quiet. There's no ferries coming for a little while, so let's just swap parcels in the middle of the road. Welcome to island living. Isn't it glorious? And along here is another nice bit of park. And along here, it's a nice little bit of park, and up ahead is the helipad where you'll see emergency rescue choppers landing to help evacuate people if there's an emergency situation and it's too slow to get people out by road and by water. Now, as a former airport planner, I do kind of doubt the how do I put it? I kind of doubt the legal standards of said helipad, given the Civil Aviation Safety Authority's Manual of Standards, but I'm not going to go into that too much right now. That being said, there used to be two stops right here. One right in front of that helipad and one just on this side near the community park sign. But as we can see, they're long gone now, so let's cut through the park. I actually haven't been through here before, so I'm curious to check it out, see what it's like, and we'll go to where one of the other stops was. Because I'm not expecting there to be any evidence of infrastructure left, but we'll soon find out. I'm not going to lie, this island is a pretty amazing place, and it's been a few months since I've been here, and it's just interesting to see how it is coming along after a few months off the island and since the shuttle's been gone. It is very calm and tranquil, which I'm really appreciating being back here, because in the middle of Brisbane, things have just been weird, and this feels just like another sort of mini getaway, which at the moment is very, very welcome. We're just turning onto Noise Parade now, where we're getting close to where another set of stops used to be, and they're just past the corner of next street up, Marianne Street, so I'll just walk over there and, you know, sort of stand almost exactly where the bus used to be and show you around. It does feel weird just being able to walk on the road so casually here because it's so quiet. You'll also pick up an appreciation for what I mean when I said there was no curb and channel in my previous video about this shuttle. It's certainly very, very basic infrastructure around here, but you know, it certainly works. It gets the job done. There's a very small, very close community that calls Karra home, and I'm basically getting to the stop, which would be right about here from memory. So I'm basically standing just about where the second stop on the shuttle bus route would have been, which is, you know, right on this bit of Treasure Island Avenue. There would have been a stop just over there as well, for returning towards the ferry, and I figured this is probably about as far as I'll go. It's about 800-900 meters from the ferry here. There's another K&a-half right behind me, but it's all just very straight, similar roads, similar greenery. There's not a heap of super exciting stuff down that way to show you. So here we're at the corner of Marianne Street and the Esplanade, and this is where our shuttle bus used to always get stuck with long grass, and Isn't it ironic that they've mowed it really recently, so there's no long grass here, which would stop our shuttle. Yet we were constantly having issues with it. When I was working on the shuttle, it would always just stop there. And I can see one long bit of grass up ahead, which I'll show you would be the sort of thing that would stop our vehicle. Can you see that blade of grass right there? That's the sort of thing that could cause our shuttle hell. Piece of grass of that sort of length, about 20 to 30 centimeters tall. They were the sorts of things that the LiDAR would pick up, and potentially that could go and stop our bus, which is a really unusual thing to think about, but it's one of the things you've got to plan for when you're working with autonomous vehicles. I think some of the locals remember who I was because they gave me a wave after I knelt down on the side of the road and looked at pieces of grass. They probably think I'm some absolute nutcase, but they might just remember I was working with the shuttle. So, you know, that's the fun of coming back to little islands like this. People remember who you are, which is good and bad. But these are very, very tight-knit, close communities, these southern Moreton Bay Islands. And I think Karragarra in particular is just one of those. And we're actually at a great point. I'm just going to pop around, turn over the camera, and show you the community garden, which is really lovely around here. And just behind the garden, you'll find the Rural Fire Brigade. But all I can say about a garden like this is eat your heart out, West End. This is much, much more beautiful and I love it. But in all seriousness, I really hope more suburbs can channel this sort of community-focused energy into them, because it would create really, really lovely spaces. Just approaching from the other angle, you'll see this little bit of concrete jutting out. And this is right where the first stop heading outbound would have been for the shuttle. Basically right here. Right? The sign was somewhere here from memory. It is really nice and relaxing just getting to walk through Karragarra Island again. One of the reasons is you see a lot more wildlife. Like this cheeky little guy. Little kookaburra just sitting on the power line, having a good break. What a legend. Remember when I was telling you about Karradice? Well, there's one of those signs proving that this really is Karradice. It's not often you still find payphones around. I wonder if this one works. Wow, it actually looks like this payphone may very well be a working one, which is pretty amazing. That's certainly something you don't see all that often. Average, but it does what it needs to do, so it can't whinge too much. Right, at this bad boy, let's see how it tastes. That didn't go according to plan, but the water tastes good. Rightio, let's try that again. First time did not work very well. That's good. Nice and cool. And the tap below works really well for filling bottles. Good score for this Karragarra Island bubbler. Excellent pressure. Great work. They are very, very proud of their real estate here. But not anyone can just move in. You kind of have to be approved by the community. Unofficially, but that's how it works in these sorts of places. The one thing I really, really like about Karragarra Island, and I think compared to many of the other islands, is they really take pride in their little location. Like, the thing I'm looking at right in front of me is a bookshelf. And these are all community books that can be borrowed and shared around, and it's excellent. There's the community garden back there, a little placard, or sorry, a little poster telling you how it all goes, and apart from all the coronavirus signage and stuff, you can tell people really take pride in this place, and I really admire that, which I think is something that more and more places I wish were able to do. So I think Karragarra has done a great job with that, and if we could put more elements of this community spirit in, I'd be stoked. I think we'll end this video here, and as far as I'm concerned, there's really not much infrastructure left on these islands to show you where the shuttle once operated. So I've shown you about a couple of the stops, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've enjoyed this quick little look around at Karragarra Island and where some of the Redland shuttle used to run. And if you haven't already gone and checked out my initial video showing you what the shuttle was like, I'd really encourage you to do that, because it's a real window into what it was like to work with an autonomous vehicle. It was a really, really cool, unusual experience, and I really enjoyed it, but it also taught me a lot of things. I don't doubt that this technology is going to improve over time, but I think what it has taught me is we should actually be trying to do the same things with existing technology and using our human controlled vehicles, mini shuttle buses and stuff, to get the same outcome where possible. And I think that's something that we should be looking at more and more carefully as well. So thanks for joining me on Talking Planning, and see you again soon.